Have you ever felt like God was calling you into something new, but you weren't fully sure how everything was going to work out? Yeah. My name is Adionette, and this is my little faith corner of the internet. And this video might be for you. We're going to go through Joshua chapter 1 and just my analysis and how it applies to my life. So, in this chapter, we see that Moses has, or we read that Moses has died, and that God is appointing Joshua as the new leader, and the Israelites are finally going into the promised land. God sets the tone in the book of Joshua, by telling Joshua to be strong and very courageous. He does repeat himself to Joshua because with asking Joshua to be the next leader and Moses being his predecessor, which I'm sure that's a lot of pressure on Joshua. I can only imagine what he's feeling. God being like, "Oh, you're the next leader," and then Moses is your predecessor. I don't know. But um I feel like with God telling him to be strong and courageous after Moses, I think Joshua just needs that encouragement, and I feel like even we need to hear that too. Like when God is calling us into something new, we need to be strong and courageous because we're not gonna know what's happening next. So we need to just know that God is giving us everything that we need, but to also, He's just telling us what to do. Just take that next step. And one thing I wanted to point out was that God also told Joshua that he will never leave him or forsake him. And it was just, it was nice to read that because I know that that also applies to the rest of us. And sometimes I feel like my relationship with God is like he's a silent partner or investor, and I need constant communication from him. I don't like any silent parties. And sometimes it does feel like he's not in the room when I'm asking him questions and like I just want answers to things. But honestly, I think he just wants me to be more like Joshua. And it's, I told you what to do already. Stop looking for more, complete the task, and then you can hear more. But like Joshua, I just need to do it. And I do want to practice that. I want that to be more like my default. But different settings than what Joshua had at present day. So I always have a million questions. One thing I love about Joshua, just in this first chapter, is that he didn't have any follow-up questions for God. And that was so funny to me because I feel like I related most to Moses, where Moses was just asking a million questions and like, why did you choose me and all these things? And Joshua was pretty much like, okay, yeah, I'm doing as I'm told, and anyone that doesn't obey what I have to say or what God is telling us to do has to answer to God. I'm just the messenger. And I just love that he went for it. He wasn't even like, I don't there was no hesitation from what I've sensed in that chapter. He nodded his head and then told the Israelites, we got to go. Joshua teaches us that we have to move before the outcome becomes visible. I found this first chapter to be very powerful and encouraging because it just really showed how much faith and trust Joshua had in God. And I wish that I was more like Joshua, especially in certain situations that I've been in and even my current season. I wish that I didn't have all the questions or the hesitations because I feel like maybe had I moved quicker, I would maybe see certain things right now, or um like I wouldn't have certain anxieties where I feel like I want to know everything ahead of time, but but then that's also like I'm not trusting that God is going to work things out for me, where Joshua, he didn't know the outcome. God just told him he's going to be the new leader. This is what you have to do. He didn't know what was going to happen or how it was going to happen. Like, God just told him these are your next two steps. And Joshua was like, okay, roger that. And I I feel like there's just so much to learn from Joshua. So I'm like looking forward to reading um these next few chapters because the perfect attitude around this situation. It's a lot. I mean, you're leading a large group of people, and You're pretty much trying to earn their respect in some way. How are they gonna believe me? Because the Israelites, as we saw in Exodus, just struggled a lot with Moses. And eventually they came around, but there was like a lot of just back and forth with them. But I just feel like Joshua is just such a good example. And I definitely got a lot more than I thought I was going to in this first chapter. So I feel like as I'm becoming confident and learning to try to trust God and also, like I said, making it my default to just kind of be like a yes man. Like, okay, yes, I'm gonna do it. No further questions. I'm not gonna be perfect, and God already knows me. And like I already said, I'm impatient. But I can practice being like Joshua because he didn't sound stressed, and I would love to not be stressed. But yes, this video was just a little short, but yeah, I wanted to share a different, well, now that I'm reading Joshua and I'm done with Exodus, I just wanted to share how I'm kind of looking at Joshua and how that may apply to my life. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And please leave any comments down below. Just let me know anything you feel like Joshua, may relate to you in some way, or if you are also reading Joshua, I want to know that. And I also have an ebook, and that'll be linked in the description below. Bye.